These new lion changes almost ruined me. Hello everybody, I'm Roadblock, and this is a Raid Shadow Legends video. Quick disclaimer before I see all the comments of people talking about how all I do is complain. Cooler heads prevailed, but I was pretty mad. Lots of censored screaming and yelling from me today in my clan chat because I was pretty pissed off. Now, I am unfortunately a procrastinator, and I wait until the last possible day to do Chimera and Hydra respectively. And so today's the last possible time to do Chimera, so I waited to do my Chimera. My clan previously had not defeated Ultra Nightmare, and I got Marius finally, and I was very excited to use Marius in a way that would be extremely beneficial to me. For the first time in Chimera, he would have been an upgrade over my Newt, essentially. So I was excited. But they buffed Lion. And Lion kept one-shotting me. Straight up. Just kept one-shotting me. Now, if you guys are having that problem, I will talk to you about how I solved that problem. But I am going to be completely real with you guys. I was this close. Let's move on to a different game. Because I don't like, per se, again, this is my opinion, you don't have to agree with me, but I don't like that they identified something needed a nerf, they nerfed it, but then buffed something else, which perhaps needed a buff, but kind of ruined the team that I had working on it for a very, very long time. I mean, just as an example, imagine if they changed unkillable teams in Clan Boss. Listen up, I just got a new promo link that you can use to follow along with me on my latest free-to-play adventure and get a free Elenaril as well as 3 more powerful epics as you level up. Here's how to do it. Log out of Plarium Play and uninstall. Click the link in the description and register with a brand new email. Launch Raid and complete the tutorial. Go to your inbox and claim your first champ. Don't miss out on your chance to get Elenaril right after signing up, as well as Fayne, Uugo, and Tagoar as you progress through Raid. Click on my link right now and let's crush this together. And said, oh, they stop now. Unkillable no longer works at turn 40 instead of turn 50. A minor little change, but could have drastic effects to people who have unkillable teams that only do their required amount of team when they hit turn 50. And so going down to 40 would really chop that in half. And the argument would be, well, just make your teams better, make them do more damage, make them, you know, improve them. And sure, I get that. But it's just, I don't like that they just changed kind of the way that my team worked. I thought, okay, they buffed it, maybe 1 or 2 more people die, but I'm really tanky, strong Elva, she'll be fine. No. Boom. One-shot Elva. And so I did have to learn the mechanics of the fight, of course, which I've previously said in other videos that I don't know what that boss does, because I've never really been bothered by it. So, what is the moral of the story? Well, the moral of the story is that I found a way to prevail, and I wanted to kind of give you guys some ideas. Now, as I always like to say, I'm not a big fan of cookie cutter teams. Now, there are some that just solve the problem, right? Obviously, Phantom Shogun Grove, cookie cutter team. I've made plenty of videos on that. If you guys are having trouble with that team, reach out in the Discord or even reach out in the comments, because I have found some new potential issues that can come up around the amount of blessings you have. So I would love to pass on that information. So because we recently did some troubleshooting for another fan of the channel, and we were able to get his team working, and the main reason it was failing was because they did not have enough blessings. So anyways, that's a video or a story for another time. There are some cookie cutter teams that are very, very good, right? Speed tuned teams for Clan Boss, Phantom Shogun Grove, I already mentioned, Sand Devil, Newt, Godseeker teams, right? Those are pretty, that stuff's understandable. But for the most part, especially in like other areas of the game, like Hydra, Chimera, it's all about what the strengths of your account and building and developing a team playing to those strengths. So when the mechanics change in this particular fight, I had to pivot. Now, traditionally, I used a team of Elva, Lydia, Gwendolyn, and 2 DPSs. Previously, it was Newt and Acrisia. I was excited to do Acrisia and Marius today. Unfortunately, was unable to accomplish that goal because Lion kept killing my team. So I had to pivot and change some things. Now, this is not a cookie cutter thing. I want to be clear about that. I'm not telling you to build this team. I'm saying that if you're struggling to get past Lion Form on Ultra Nightmare or whatever difficulty you're doing, perhaps make a pivot and bring another support like I did. Okay, so my previous teams were 3 supports, 2 DPS. Okay. And I understand they're not supports. One's a debuffer, but you guys get what I'm saying, right? 2 people doing damage, 3 people helping them do damage. That's all you need to do. So I made a pivot, and you can see this was the team that I pivoted to right here, where I decided to bring Androck and Lamassu. And I'll explain why I bring them both. Now, I am aware, because this is important to note just because of previous videos that I've made, Lamassu does not place the big version of Fear on bosses. The way that her kit is written, it gets replaced with a decreased speed, I think. So I am aware of that, but she still filled a particular void that I needed on the team, which is why I brought her. And then I brought Androck. Now I brought Androck because the one problem that I have with Elva is I don't have enough healing in the comp. So my team gets very, very low if I don't have the leech from Gwendolyn. And so Gwendolyn has basically served as my decreased speed and my leech. Problem is, Gwendolyn doesn't bring decreased attack. Now, while Newt brings decreased attack, Newt's accuracy is nowhere near high enough to place it on a Chimera boss. Sure, I could give him more accuracy and then have decreased attack, which is how I beat Lion, by the way. But that wasn't worth it to me to rebuild Newt into a much higher accuracy and therefore lowering the damage output of Newt. Newt, for me, is built where he needs to be, and so I don't want to tinker with him and screw him up in other teams that I have, so I just chose to go a different route. So instead of trying to stay alive off of leech procs, I brought a legit healer in Androck, but also he's a turn meter booster, and he actually really facilitated this one DPS team. I don't know that you're going to have the same success without something like Androck, which is hard to say, right? And you guys are going to get mad because it's a mythical champion. Hey, I don't have mythical champions. I don't have these champions. This is a terrible video, etc., right? I'm not, again, I'm just giving you guys ideas to perhaps try to conquer the problem if it is a problem for you. Now, what was most frustrating to me is I, for the life of me, couldn't understand why all my other clanmates and their teams were still finding success and I was getting one shot by the Lion. I felt like I was doing something wrong. I researched it. I looked at the abilities of the boss. I was like, it just hits really hard. I don't really see what I'm doing wrong. Ultimately, I decided to bring, like I said, a more legitimate healer, still bringing Elva because Elva does the cleanse and the block debuffs, which is very good, and has a revive. And then continue bringing Lydia because that's my lockout for Viper, my decreased defense and weaken, and my increased speed, although I have increased speed also from Elva. And Lamassu, why did I bring Lamassu? Because Lamassu brings decreased speed and decreased attack on an A1, which goes off a lot. So, also, surprisingly, the cooldown reduction on the A3 comes in super handy. Now, when I manualed the fight, I kind of forgot, I didn't forget to use it. I was just greedy with it. But honestly, I would probably use it a bunch. If I did Nightmare on auto, but if I manual it again, I'm just going to use it off cooldown on Acrizia just to give her as much damage output as I possibly can because there is a 50% turn meter increase and cooldown reduction. So she would get to use her bigger abilities rather than her A1 because her 2 double hitters will hit harder. Well, not harder. Well, yeah, they will hit harder than the A1 because it's a single hitter. So there's a possibility that Marius, if I can actually get him built properly, get blessings on him, etc., that he would replace Acrizia in the future to do more damage. But for now, he's not booked. He is fully mastered, but not booked, and the gear is a little subpar from what I would like it to be. So I'm very happy to continue to use Acrizia for now. But yes, it was difficult, but we got it done. I was happy with that. But yeah, ultimately the change that I made was just bringing another different decreased speed who also brought decreased attack, but in doing so, I now no longer had a way to heal my team, and so I had to bring a legitimate healer. I did consider Pythion as a replacement, who would bring the healing of Androck, but the healing from Pythion is still pretty low in comparison, especially if you're using the heal without debuffs on your team. So I decided to just leave Elva. Elva's already built for this team. She's in full protection. I just decided to leave her and bring her and to add Androck to the team, who actually paid off quite well. So I really only lost, I think, like 10, maybe 20 million damage total. And I played it subpar, and this team is not built to work together. So I'm very excited at the possibility of changing this team for next week, getting more crit rate across the board on these champions. Probably not on Lydia, unfortunately, but if I can get more crit rate on Lamasu, more crit rate on Elva, I think I'm already a pretty high crit rate on Androck. And obviously Krizia is going to be 100%, but that will generate more turn meter on the team and thus give me more opportunities to place my debuffs, more opportunities to place buffs, and more opportunities for Krizia to do Krizia things. So, but yeah, I am not joking when I say, like, I was furious because we were 100 million damage away, for 109 million damage away from killing Ultra Nightmare for the very first time, and I couldn't get past the third phase of the fight. I was livid. Now, I hope that, I mean, if this is the direction that they want to go, they want you to bring 1 TPS and a bunch of supports. Like, I mean, that seems to be what they want. So, you know, it'll probably stay that way. And unfortunately, it takes them so long to nerf stuff. Case in point is the event dungeon. Now, I wanted to make a video on the event dungeon today. I wanted that to be my focus. I was just going to have a really easy time at throwing in Marius and moving on. That was going to be my day. But it wasn't. And so I am going to do some testing on this, but I am tired. It's kind of late here because I've been doing all this Chimera stuff. So I wanted to kind of share with you what happened, how I figured it out. I have no clue what the editor is going to title this video, so I apologize in advance if it's not. This, by the way, I love my editor. I'm not saying that he does this on purpose, but sometimes there's a disconnect between kind of what I'm thinking, and unfortunately, I'm not thinking anything about this video because I'm exhausted right now. Yeah, at the end of the day, I'm going to put this out, and it might be a little confusing or misleading and be like, oh, this is how you beat the new, you know, whatever, but probably maybe go more something like, I almost lost it. But yeah, I'm very excited that they did nerf this. I'm curious, in fact, why don't I just go ahead and throw my dwarf team in there. I don't even know. Do I have them saved? Yeah, this is my all dwarf team. I'm curious to see how well this goes. Just completely unprompted, unchanged. I do want to put, actually, let's do team setup and take out my second newt and put in him. I do have gear on him. Do I care about the team setup? And let's see what happens. I'm expecting this to go terribly, by the way. I'm just curious. We'll take super raids off so I don't waste any energy here. But I am curious to see if this all dwarf team will have a bunch of success. Yeah, went about as well as I thought. Okay. I will fiddle with a couple team comps. I'm sure I can find something that would work. I really had a lot of success with that team in the early stages. Obviously not any longer. Trunda does have gear. Yeah, it's pretty slow though. So yeah. Anyways, I just wanted to test that while I was on camera and see if it would work, because I love the Admiral and would love to be able to get more opportunities to use him, of course. So either way, guys, short video, because I can't keep my eyes open anymore. They are the heaviest they have ever been in a long time, guys. So thank you so much for watching. Thank you for listening to me rant. That's the video that you guys get today. I'm so sorry. I was just so mad and I had to share it with you guys. So yeah, if you're new here, please consider subscribing, and I look forward to seeing you all in the next video. Take care.